Hey everyone, my name is Brian. I am Asian, and today I'm going to give you three honest tips as a Asian American who's gone through college. For you, Asian American college students, or aspiring college students, aspiring Asians, if that's a thing. And the reason why I'm qualified to say this is because I'm Asian, I've been through it, and I've had plenty of Asians around me who I think if they follow these tips, or because they follow these tips, they have been successful or they've not been successful. My definition of success is not only in monetary senses, but truly happiness and not feeling like they wasted their college years. So let's just jump right into it. Number one, don't join an Asian frat. You know those weird thick eyelash girls and the dragon tattoo guys who drive race cars and drink boba, go to raves, do this thing and give hype clothing away and see their littles and bigs. Don't do that. I think Asians mistake that as finding their culture and identifying with something and finally their freedom away from their tiger parents and the parents who forced them to have good grades and have a certain path of life. Don't join it. I've never done it, but I've seen plenty of people do it. I've never seen someone not regret it in some capacity. I think there is something to be said about finding friends, and if that is your path, only path to finding friends, sure. But even then, I'm a little hesitant. I think it gives a wrong sense of what it means to be Asian in this country, or Asian American, or even American in this country. Being Asian is not about looking that way, or doing acid and going to these raves and saying yas and becoming this queen of hype. That's not the path you want to take. This country is built on hard work and capitalism and having a career built on trust and in networks. You need to build a network that actually matters. A lot of these Asian frats and sororities, I think, have alumni that could pull you up, but I don't think they're looking to pull you up based on the parties that you went to or the types of tattoos you have, the types of boba you drink, but more for your work ethic and your ability to deliver. I'm going to go as far as to say a lot of these networks are still majority dominated by white people or Americans that have been here for quite some time. And I think it's important to really infiltrate that network and then think about what it means to use that network, use that leverage to help even more Asian Americans instead of clustering just with Asian Americans. You can't grow the pie or even grow your own pie if you continuously dig in the same pie, especially if the pie isn't that great and covered in dragon tattoos. So stay away from the USB sucking. Don't go to these raves. I would highly go against joining these Asian frats and finding yourself in this weird cultural niche that doesn't really do you well besides the UC atmosphere. Number two, unless you're overly ambitious or overly talented, I would kind of stick to the lawyer, banker, engineer, doctor route that your parents are recommending. The number one reason why is because I think there's this weird reverse psychology that's happening where people don't want to be that just because their parents told them to do that. There's a reason why all those careers are tried and true. And yes, there's obviously trenches and trusts and eras where certain things are less favored. Right now, it seems like engineers are a loss for jobs, and it seems like law is slightly on the rise. People are going to finance. There's different trends, but those four careers, or those five careers, the ers of this world, are well tested. And people of that career, in the long run, most often than not, don't regret it. And it's far more favorable than you trying to be a SoundCloud rapper because of a certain phase you're going through. Because realistically, you're probably not that talented and you're probably not that good at what you're about to do. This is a very depressing talk, but I think a lot of Asian Americans are brainwashed into becoming content creators these days or trying to become market, whatever, hype, blah, 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 chase your own dreams. Regular, not that we're irregular, but people that you dream of having the easy life or a bit able to chase their dreams for real. In short, in some ways, Caucasian Americans aspire to be doctors, lawyers, and bankers for a reason. Their parents also hand them down those careers because those careers have been tested and they do well and they're well stabilized. There's a reason why at least you should try and start out on those things and not go against those things simply because your parents told you to do it is not a good enough reason for you to not do it. Lastly, on that route, I think there's a weird Asian American culture to not like your parents because they've given you a pathway towards success and they've worked their butt off to bring you here and they have their old ways that are being applied to you. Yes, I think there is something to be said about Asian Americans bringing Asian culture into America and then hoping their kids would succeed through Asian culture. That's wrong. You need to adopt American culture to succeed in America. But that should not give you a reason to be mean to them or go against them and then denounce everything that they've passed on to you simply because they are the ones that pass it on to you. So I highly advise you to not only respect them in the Asian way, but love them. Try to understand them. Figure out where they're coming from. Don't denounce the traditions and the cultures that they get passed down to you simply because they passed it down to you and it seems uncool at the time. You will regret it. Treasure the time that you have with them because it's limited, and by the time that you regret it, it's going to be too damn late. And I'm speaking from personal experience, from experience around me. In short, I think it's important to embrace the Americanness of the Asian American side while retaining the Asianness. It's unbelievably hard. I don't think anyone's figured it out. We're probably the first generation to really delve into it. I highly advise against, again, USB sucking and raving, simply because it's not good for your body and I don't think it's good for your culture. I don't think it's the culture that we stand for. But all of this to say, obviously, test it out. Do the things that I just told you not to do, and then prove me wrong. I am certain that you will prove me right. But as an Asian American who's been through it, I advise you guys to try this. I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart that I want you to do well, which is why I'm saying all this. As always, I hope you guys had a good time watching. I hope it's relatable. I hope it's applicable. And again, try it, don't try it, see what happens. As always, I'll see you guys next time. Let's go.